Alright, in this video I want to talk about health. Basically diet and fitness. Mainly on diet here. And I'm making this video because fitness is a kind of a hobby of mine. I like to try to dominate the body, to dominate the carnal nature, and to treat my body as if it is basically like a dog that I'm trying to train and dominate over so that it doesn't dominate me. Because you know your body's basically like a dog, it just wants to sleep, eat, and make babies. And you need to actually control that and dominate it and use the energy that it wants to use to do those things, to do things that you want to do that are more productive for you and your family. Now, to start off, I know that there's a lot of people who look into different diets. That's what I'm getting into here because a lot of people they're overweight or they want to lose some weight, so they look into these different diets. What can I do? And doing things cold turkey, just jumping in the new diets is not the best thing to do, and it's actually kind of difficult. With me, it's a little bit different. I've tried a bunch of different diets, but I've also grown up with a drill instructor for a dad who raised me. So I'm used to doing things cold turkey. If there's a problem, a bad habit, or anything like that, my dad would correct me and I would have to correct it quick, fast, in a hurry, or there's going to be a problem. So I have a foundation of just doing things cold turkey. If there's a problem I, that I see, cold turkey, I'm just going to stop doing it or I'm going to start doing it. Uh, I'm not 100% successful, but I find it easier to do that than most people that I've come in contact with. But there is things that make it easier by doing baby steps and being patient with yourself and not trying to just jump into these things because they can be difficult. Whether you're changing your diet, you're doing some kind of new workout, it can be very stressful and very exhausting. So sometimes it's easy to build yourself up to something. And instead of looking into some kind of vegetarian diet, a vegan diet, a raw food diet, a carnivore diet, a ketosis diet, or keto diet, that you slow down, just eat what you're normally eating, but do baby steps. Baby steps. And you don't have to get all hardcore and calorie counting and checking everything you're eating. What you're going to do is you're going to take baby steps. So it's not that you're expecting to lose a lot of weight today or in a week or in a month even. You're going to plan for something like a year, right? So you just do baby steps. You're just going to worry about today, and what you're going to do today is something simple. I am going to stop drinking calories. So with all your meals, and anytime you're going to drink something when you're not even having a meal, make sure it's water or tea or something that has no calories in it. So that right there, for today, you cut out a bunch of calories, right? And then you do that for 7 days, and you started to build a habit, a foundation that you can build on. And it starts to wire into your brain. And I think it's after 21 days, you really establish a foundation of a habit. So if you can make a habit of drinking water and other non-caloric drinks with your meals and between meals, then you establish something as a habit which makes it easier to do. And I know we've all experienced it. When you do something a bunch of times, at first, you had to actually focus, such as driving. But then after you do it, you just do it, right? Muscle memory, everything, you just do it. You don't even think about it, right? That's why I guess many people feel comfortable on the phone and texting and all that stuff, because it's just second nature, right? Well, it's that same idea. You just got to do something small and simple, which is stop drinking calories, because that's where most calories come from people who are overweight, because you're drinking maybe some orange juice in the morning or some coffee full of milk and cream and sugar, or you're going to Starbucks for some latte, something or other. Uh, Maybe for lunch you're having a Coke, a Pepsi, a Sprite, maybe a Gatorade. Maybe you're having, fruit juices or something in the middle of the day, and a glass of milk with dinner or something, right? So you just those drinks alone probably add up to a good meal by themselves because of the calorie content of it. Not only that, the carbs actually make you produce insulin, which tells your body to store fat. So if you got a lot of sugar in your meals and a lot of fat in your meals that you're not actually burning off, your body's going to store that because it has an insulin spike. So the insulin spike is like, oh, we got this energy flow. All right, well, if we're not going to use it, let's store it because we don't know when we're not going to get any more. Right? So you cut just drinks out. Just be like, you know what, today, only drinking water or some other drink that you like that's flavored with no calories. And you're just going to do that today. That's what you got to tell yourself. It's just for today. And you do that every day for 7 days because you got to trick your body. It's just for today. It's just for today. I can just do today. Just focus on today. By the time you get to 7 days, it's like amazing. You've accomplished something. Then you do it for 21 days. You've really built a foundation where it's becoming second nature. It's just what you do. You don't even think about it. It's not a fight. It's just natural now. Like I said, you drive in the car. It's easy. So that's the step one, right? Step two, well, you cut out snacks. So for today, you're like, okay, no snacks today. I'm just going to eat my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner. Simple, super simple, right? And then you do the same thing. I'm just going to do that for today. You get to 7 days, then you stretch it to 21 days. You've built a habit. Now it's going to be easy to drink water and not have snacks. That's second nature now. Now you can move on to another step. And you don't have to do it in this order. I'm just doing it in a simple order that I would do it. You got to experiment with yourself what you find easier to let go. Whatever you find easiest to let go of, do that first. And then you start to build strength. It's kind of like lifting weights. You don't go up and bench at 300 pounds. You might have to start with like 100 pounds that you bench. Something lighter. And then you work your way up. So you go to the easiest thing first before you go straight to the heaviest thing, right? So then you've already knocked off a whole lot of calories. So now you do something like, okay, well, let me cut down on how much bread I consume, or cereals, how much pasta, how much potatoes, and other sources of carbs that I'm taking in. I'm going to cut down on those or just cut them out completely because that's a good way to pack on weight is from the carbs from what you drink and the carbs that you get from your pastas, your breads, and your potatoes. So, remove those. Or something simpler is if you're one of those people who have desserts or, some kind of treat after lunch or something like a brownie or something, cut those out. Cut the desserts after dinner, the desserts after lunch. Don't do those anymore. And you do that, be like, I'm just doing it today. Today, I'm not going to do it. That's all you focus on. Don't be like, I got to do this for the rest of my life. Don't focus on that. It's like you're on a tightrope walk. You focus on that little rope that you're walking on. You start to look at everything else, you're going to lose your balance and you're going to fall. So just focus on that tightrope, which is today, one step at a time. You're just focusing on one step at a time. Each step is a day, and you just boom. And before you know it, you're just naturally doing it. You're not focusing so hard. You're not taking so much effort. It's second nature. Like a little child crawling and taking steps. It was all difficult. They can't just walk, and then eventually they're just doing it. And they're not even thinking about it. And they're running around all crazy. Right? That's how you got to see it. Like a little baby taking baby steps. If that's offensive to you, you humble yourself here a little bit, right? There's nothing wrong with having some humble pie here and there. It's good for you. But anyway, so that's another step there. And right now, I'm going to interject my personal experience because I've tried different diets myself, just experimenting with what's healthiest. Because normally I would just eat what I want. I never really had a problem with weight, but I wanted to uh, eat in a way that was more efficient, more uh, healthy, obviously, and cost effective. So it's not something that's expensive because some of these diets cost more than eating junk food all day. Going to Burger King and McDonald's and Whataburger and all that stuff. Sometimes that's cheaper than eating healthier. So I was looking into ways where this is not just too much money for a little bit better health, right? So I've tried being a vegetarian, a vegan, raw food vegan, carnivore diet, a keto diet, intermittent fasting, and what I've come to actually enjoy, where I actually feel good, not just physically, but I feel good mentally. Because sometimes when you cut something out, because there's times where I've cut out caffeine, I've cut out drinking, and you want that caffeine, you want that drink, right? Well, I've tried different things, and sometimes you want like that cheeseburger. You want that meat when you're doing something vegetarian or vegan, or you want to eat another meal when you're doing something like intermittent fasting. Like you got that desire, right? And what I found that works for me is I eat what I want, but I'll only eat 1 or 2 meals a day. And I've been able to maintain weight, build muscle, and feel good physically, where I got energy and motivation, where I'm not exhausted and just want to sleep and I don't want to work out or I don't want to do anything, because sometimes your diet and your workout will do that to you. And I also feel good mentally clear, uh, able to digest information fairly fast, learn really fast, and think clearly and control my emotions better and not get all pulled around by, just mood swings because of high, low blood sugar. Uh, so what I'm doing now, like I said, is I'll eat what I want, but I'll eat just 1 or 2 meals a day, and one day a week I'll eat what I want as much as I want. But I've gotten to such a habit that even on that day, some people might think that I don't eat a lot of junk food or I don't eat a whole lot, even on my cheat day, because of just the habit that I've created where I don't even want to eat more, or I don't want to eat a lot of junk food. So you just take baby steps and you experiment with yourself. And like I said, experiment with it for at least that 21 days to build the habit and see how you feel by the end of that 21 days. Do you feel like, hey, I can maintain this? I don't, because sometimes, like I said, when you're doing a diet or workout, you might feel exhausted where I don't even want to get up in the morning. The next day is like, this is shit. There's going to be times where you're going to have to fight through that. That's why I said finish the 21 days, because there might be a period in the middle where you feel like that, but you got to fight through it and see if you still feel that way by the end of 21 days. And if you don't, then hey, maybe this is something good for you, right? So the main thing, like I said, for losing weight is cutting out your drinks from calories, cutting out snacks, cutting out desserts, and then cutting out the carbs from bread, pasta, potatoes. That's going to help you lose the majority of your weight right there. And then if you still want to push for losing weight and you're going into fitness stuff, try doing something like intermittent fasting or a keto diet, or if you want to just cut out meat. Because like with me, with my experiments with dieting, I lost the most weight and had the most trouble putting on weight when I was on a raw food vegan diet. I was doing raw food vegan, and uh, after I was in the army, I was about 140, 145 pounds. I know not a lot, but I dropped down to 120 and would have to fight to keep that weight. I looked like a skeleton, but I had plenty of energy and felt good, so it was kind of weird. That's the way I kept it up. I was like, I feel good, I got energy, I just can't put on weight. It's like working out, not building really any strength or muscle. So I was like, yeah, this is not something I want to keep doing. And uh, vegetarian diet is, I guess, where I stayed pretty level at about 140, 145. And then when I would actually incorporate meat and what have you, I was eating even just basically what I wanted. And I started working out heavy. I went up to like 190, 195 pounds. And I wasn't too hefty, but I had some weight on me, mixture of muscle and fat, kind of. I don't want to say skinny fat because it was a little more fat than skinny, and like one of those muscle bound guys when they're starting to bulk up before they cut. I guess that's what it was like. But I didn't feel all too good. Like I felt kind of sluggish, mentally a little So I changed things up, and now I stay between 160, 165, and I eat one meal a day. Sometimes two, or I'll eat 2 meals a day, and then sometimes I'll just eat one. Sometimes when it's cold, I want to eat a little more. Sometimes when it's hot, I want to eat a little less. And sometimes when I'm doing a lot of lifting, I might want to eat more. Sometimes I don't, depending how I feel. But I try to eat in a way that's more of a money saver, more for health, where I'm eating and I'm enjoying what I'm eating, and I stop when I've had enough, and I don't snack so that I really enjoy those meals. I've noticed doing this that when I eat, the flavors really pop out a little more. I take time to savor them because I know it might be 24 hours before I eat again, so it's a more pleasurable experience, more enjoyable. And it took a lot of experimenting to get to this point. And that's why I just felt like, hey, you know what? I'm going to do a video here and talk about baby steps because I know a lot of people, they can't do something just cold turkey. So I figured, baby steps. And that leads into the next thing, like working out. Again, I would say baby steps. Uh, First thing I would say about helping you lose weight, what you should do for working out, is a couple hours before bed, you do a 10-minute HIIT workout, which is HIIT, high intensity interval training. And you can do something super simple, which I'm going to explain right here. And that is every night, about 1-2 hours before you go to bed, it's going to pump you up a little bit. But that's why you might want to wait 2 hours so that you actually calm down a bit, cool off, and make it easier to go to bed. But if you can sleep after you've done something like that within an hour, then, do it an hour before you go to bed. Or even a half hour if you can just all of a sudden shut yourself off like that, right? Well, at night, do the HIIT workout. It's something simple. All you got to do 10 push-ups, then do 10 burpees. You don't know what a burpee is? A burpee is kind of this kid right here is almost doing something like it. You do a push-up, and then you jump your feet toward your hands. You jump up in the air. You come back down, put your hands to your feet, and do a push-up again. And you do 10 of those. So you drop down, push up, feet up to your hands, you jump up. You know what? Maybe I can get an illustration of a burpee here, just in case you're one of those people who do not know what a burpee is. How to do a burpee. See, there we go. See? Right here, perfect. Hands up to your feet. She stretches her feet down, does a push-up, then she's going to come back like this, jump up in the air. All right, there we go. This guy's not jumping in the air. There, this one's perfect. Get down, do your push-up, get up here, do a jump, and you do that 10 times. Then do 10 squats. Now you get a little timer, rest for 30 seconds to a minute and 30 seconds. You don't want to rest that long. Try to bring it down to 30 seconds, but if you've never done this before, maybe you're going to need a minute and a half to catch your breath a bit. So, like I said, baby steps. So do a minute and a half rest, then do it again. Do it at least 3 times. Your goal is to do it 5 times. So you do 10 push-ups, 10 burpees, 10 squats, rest for a minute and a half, do it again. Rest for a minute and a half, do it again. And like I said, baby steps. Maybe you're only able to do it once or twice before you're just like, I can't even breathe, right? Well, do it for that 1 or 2 times. The next day, you may only be able to do that again, but do that for a week. Next week, shorten the rest. Add another set until you're able to get 5 sets and drop it down under a minute of rest in between each. That speeds up your heart rate and your breathing, your oxidation, and while you sleep, you're going to burn more fat. So that is a key part of fitness if you're trying to lose weight, and it's going to get you in good conditioning, because once you do that, you're going to want to do that in the morning when you wake up, but maybe not 5 sets, maybe just 3, and it will pump you up and it will wake you up better than coffee and caffeine. So you can do that. And like I said, at night, 5 sets. In the morning, 3 sets. And try to get your rest under a minute. I like to do 30 seconds. It's really kicks my ass. It is something so simple, so easy, and it's so quick. It'll take you like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. And you're like, holy cow. I just kicked my ass, and it didn't take long to do. So that is something I would start with. So you get the conditioning down. Then I would say that's when you go into this. If you're trying to lean out or build muscle, then start working out. Start lifting weights. And when you start lifting weights, you don't have to do all kinds of crazy things with all kinds of different weights and all kinds of different exercises. Right? You can do different things. I mean, a few simple things. And if you're just trying to build muscle and some strength, you're just going to think push-pull, push-pull. So if you like bench press, you're going to use more muscle groups than if you're just trying to do something with your triceps, right? So you want to do something that's compound, like a bench press to push. So if you're going to do a bench press, you do your bench presses, but you're also going to want to do rows, which, let me see somebody doing one here. Right. Okay, this lady looks like she's getting ready to do either a deadlift or, let's say she can row that. She's going to keep that form that she has, and she's just going to lift with her arms. So you're basically doing a reverse bench press. So when you do a push, you need to do a pull. So if you're going to do the bench press, do rows, because you're going to balance so you don't get an awkward looking back and all this other issues. You need to build the strength from the push and the pull. And it's the same thing with the legs. You do squats. That's going to get the front part of your leg. And then you do deadlifts or straight leg deadlifts, and you get the back of your legs. So if you're going to do exercises, those are 4 main ones. Bench press, rows, squats, deadlifts. And you just start with those, build up your strength with low weights, maybe 3 days a week. One day, let's say Monday, you do bench press and rows. Wednesday, you do squats and deadlifts. Friday, you do the bench press rows again. And then on the next week, Monday, you do your squats and deadlifts. Wednesday, you do your bench press and rows. And Friday, you do your squats and deadlifts. And then you're slowly building up your strength. And then from there, once you've really maxed that out, you mix in other things. You obviously want to work your core, your abs, to keep them strong so that you can lift without hurting your back and causing any serious injury, because when you bench press, you're using your back. Obviously, when you're rowing and deadlifting, you're using your back. When you're holding weight in a squat, you're using your core, your back, to hold that all up. So you want to do some kind of ab circuit, maybe every other day, maybe on the days that you're not lifting, maybe every day. But do something like that to help your abs. And then once you start building all that up, you want to keep going, then work in other things. I would say do some military presses, which is just lifting the weight over your head, and doing pull-ups, which is the opposite. Like I said, you do a push, you got to do a pull. So you do some pull-ups, right? So help out your arms. And then you want to do some more things with your legs. Well, do some lunges, right? Mix in other things with that. And yeah, I hope this made everything simple. I don't know how long this was, but it's just about baby steps and not giving up, just focusing on one day at a time and not trying to do everything. Like, these guys are obviously in shape, so you're not going to do what they do. Don't look at them as the competition. You are your own competition. So let's say today you're able to do this movement 10 times, right? Well, if you're going to do it the next day or in a couple days, tell yourself, I'm going to do 11. I'm going to kick my own ass. I'm going to beat myself. I'm not going to try to lift what this guy's lifting. He looks like he's in really good shape and he's been lifting for a while. If you're just starting, be like, I'm going to start where I have to start and beat myself every time I come into the gym or go out in the garage, do whatever you're going to do to work out. Be like, I'm going to beat myself because I'm my own competition. That's all all that matters is you beating yourself. It doesn't matter if you can lift more than any of these people here, or you can lift it more times than they can, or anything like that. What matters is beating yourself, and maybe you're going to get to a place where you like where you're at. Like, here's a good example. Like say you get to this point right here. You were skinny, but now you're skinny muscular, right? Maybe you like that, so you just stick with what you're doing to maintain it, right? And then maybe here, you're like, I want to get a little bit bigger. Because you got to get careful, because sometimes you just want to keep going and going and going. And it's going to put more and more stress, and you got to put more and more food and more supplements and all this stuff to help you get bigger and maintain that, especially as you get older. So maybe right here is where you feel good. You feel really good and you're strong. You can do what you need to do. So just do what you got to do to maintain. You don't have to keep adding weight. You don't have to keep doing more reps. Just do what you got to do to maintain what you want. Where you feel good. You feel good about yourself. Feel good mentally, emotionally. These things are key. It's good for your overall health to take care of your body when by eating and fitness. Sometimes you get your fitness by sports and all this other stuff. You join an adult softball league and football league or basketball league or something. Help you keep in shape. But you're a loner, or you don't like to socialize, or what have you. You just do this stuff on your own. Like I said, you can also just do things that are your own body weight. You don't have to buy a bunch of equipment. You can focus on things like push-ups, pull-ups, squats, sit-ups, in jogging, running, riding a bike, swimming, or whatever you can do around that's cheap. Even walking. Walking is actually a very good way to burn fat because when you're doing something that's quick with that needs a lot of energy, such as lifting weights, you burn a lot more of your stored carbs in your muscles. But when you walk, you're not putting a lot of stress on yourself, so your body burns the fat because it's a slow release energy. It doesn't need the energy really fast. It needs it really slow to maintain your walking pace. So if you walk a lot, you'll burn more fat than you would if you're doing something like running or lifting weights. But anyway, I think I got everything out in this video. Thanks for watching and take care. Take care of yourself.